Hello everyone, and welcome back to Killer Shrew Fans Killer Toy Reviews, and today I have got an unboxing video to do for you. This massive package just arrived from the folks over at Minizoo, all the way from Australia, and as you can see, I can hardly even fit the thing in frame. It is that big. So I am very excited to crack it open and see what is actually in there. I mean, I know what's in there. You probably know what's in there, but let's make this fun. So I got my trusty scissors here, and we are going to crack this sucker open. Alright, big reveal moment that you all know was coming anyway. Ah, yes, there it is. As you can see, this is a massive box of REBOR figures. Yes, Minizoo is actually in the process of clearancing out their REBOR products. I believe they have decided to terminate their business partnership with REBOR, so they are currently selling all of their REBOR stuff that they still have for, I think, 40% off. So I took advantage of that and decided to pick up a bunch of REBOR figures that I have, kind of noticed but put off because it wasn't exactly on my priority list, but I figured better get while the getting is good. So let's go ahead and take a look at what all we got today. First up, if I can get it out without just absolutely toppling everything else. Ah, yes, the REBOR Skull Oddity Collection, Ceratosaurus. Yes, I got their Carnotaurus skull back in the day, and I kind of had my eye on the other ones, the Utyrannus and Ceratosaurus, but obviously, Carnotaurus was the priority to me. I thought the other ones looked good, but the Carnotaurus was the first one I got, so when I saw that these two were on sale, I decided to jump on them as well. And I love the presentation that we got going on here with the sort of black box paisley look. But of course, you're not here for that, you're here for the dinosaur itself. Let's crack this package open and see what we're dealing with. And there is the Ceratosaurus Skull out and on display, and I gotta say, this looks really cool. I love the color that they went with on this. Really gives me like a black and white photo vibe, and obviously it is sculpted to perfection. It looks like a shrunk down version of a dinosaur skull that you would see in a museum, and I'm actually very excited to display this alongside some of REBOR's actual models. Of course, there might be better representations of these dinosaurs out there, but I just think it's cool that REBOR's like, okay, we made these dinosaurs in the past, here are the skulls to go with them. Yeah, why not? I think this is gonna look great, and even if I don't display it with my dinosaurs, I think it would look great as a bookshelf or a bookend or on a desk. I'm just really excited about this particular edition. This was one that I was really looking forward to. So yeah, that was the Ceratosaurus Skull. What else do we have going on in here? Alright, next up we've got the Comsignathus Sentry, complete with a little dragonfly. Let's get him out of his plastic there and get that on the turntable. So yeah, the REBOR packaging has always been one of my personal favorites. I love the presentation on these things, and this one is no exception, with the sort of matte finish and then the skeletal diagram of the Comsignathus and a sort of silhouette of the dragonfly. But again, what do we care about the packaging? We're here for the toy. Let's get to it. Alright, and there are the contents of the box. First up we have the dragonfly, complete with a little base. I'm going to go ahead and get that out now. There's a good look at that thing, and let's put that guy on its peg so we can take care of the compy itself. And there is the Comsignathus free of its plastic bag. Let's get it off that tray that they include to keep the legs from warping. And there is the complete set out and on display. It also comes with this little info card. I forgot to mention that, like most of REBOR's older stuff. But yeah, the dinosaur figure itself looks pretty good. I mean, it's obviously inspired by The Lost World. The real draw for this to me, I mean, I already have a couple of compies in my collection, But the real draw to me was that dragonfly, because I feel like I'm going to be able to use that for a number of other sets. But yeah, the copy itself, the dinosaur, doesn't look half bad. If this is your sort of cup of tea, you might want to consider adding this to the collection. So yeah, that was the Comsignathus Sentry. Bad Company is another set of copies that I did not get, unfortunately, but one's enough for the time being. Next up, okay, we're getting into the good stuff like right away. This is the Hatchling Stegosaurus Clover. This is one of their special edition releases, limited to 1,000 copies. And as you can see from the package, it's part of a line of hatchling dinosaurs that REBOR has been doing basically since their inception, if I recall correctly. But Clover here was certainly one of the ones that caught my eye the most, particularly because of the display aspect of the foliage that comes with the base, and all of that is advertised on this black box here with the 1,000 worldwide banner, kind of giving you that limited edition premium feel to the package. But enough about the box, and let's get to the figure itself. And there you can see Clover nestled nice and snug in that foam lining. So first things first, let's go ahead and get that base out and take a look at that. Oh man, this just gets cooler and cooler. So these things are actually posable, it would seem. You can kind of bend them and shape them how you would want. Like, yeah, so there's really room to create a very elegant display with this base. As you can see on the bottom, I have number 986 out of 1,000. Wow, so they are really getting to the end of this line, or at least my particular offering was one of the last ones that seemed they would produce. There you can see the base itself has a lovely sandy, rocky surface, and then a faux wooden paneling kind of running around that. There's a baggie with all the little extras included. You have got a couple eggshells, and then of course the titular Clover, the namesake of the release. And now for the dinosaur itself. There is baby Clover emerging from her egg and looking just absolutely fantastic. Wow. I gotta get this thing on the base like right away. And there you can see Clover complete with the base. And as I was saying, you can really create a very pleasing display with those bendable plants. It takes up a little bit of shelf space if you really want to fan it out and create this eye-catching appearance, but I'd say it is 100% worth it. Now, many of REBOR's hatchling dinosaurs come with a little accessory that gives it a theme, but Clover is the only one where it's just like, I feel like I could display this year-round with her namesake as part of the display. I mean, I don't know if four-leaf clovers were around in the time of the dinosaurs. In fact, I doubt it. But, you know, if you use your imagination and just pretend it's a generic leaf that little Clover just plucked right as she was coming out of the egg as her first meal, I think that has charm. That adds a little bit of charm to the display, and I frankly love how this looks. I think I'm going to keep this on my desk year-round, not just around St. Patty's Day or anything like that. I really do love the look of this piece. So yes, that was Clover, and let's see what else we have got in this box. I think I'm going to go for the next skull oddity. I already mentioned that I jumped on this one during the Ceratosaurus reveal. It's the Utyrannus Skull. Let's go ahead and get that out of its plastic protective shipping slip. And there you can see the Utyrannus Skull oddity box. The Skull Oddities have a different style of box, like I was talking about with the Ceratosaurus Skull. They have this like ornate, grayed out, sort of, it's not paisley, I don't know what you would call that, but it really gives it a Victorian style feel, and I appreciate that, but of course, not as much as I'm going to appreciate the final product itself. Alright, and there is our Utyrannus Skull Oddity, and I gotta say, this one looks just as good as the Ceratosaurus. I might not prefer the color, but the sculptural detail is 100% there for me with this one. It really does look like a shrunk down version of a museum display, and I think if you're a fan of dinosaurs in general, these things would be a wonderful addition just as like a conversation piece to keep on a bookshelf or a mantle or something like that. I think they have that sort of eclectic feel that's really going to give your collection a different sort of edge, and I appreciate them for that. Of course, gotta consider displaying it next to what REBOR so unashamedly called a Utyrannus. Yeah, that... Maybe there are better options to display with this skull, but if anything, it kind of shows how far REBOR's come when it comes to making like actual scientific-inspired products. I mean, you have the skull looking fierce as all get out, and then you have that absolute dumpster fire they called Utyrannus. But not getting into that right now. Let's move on to the next product. What have we got? It is Sweeney, the Lost World style Tiger Raptor. Alright, let's get that one out of its plastic sleeve. And on the turntable. Now, unlike the other REBOR products, the Raptor series seems to just put an image of the product on the box as opposed to a skeletal, which I think is interesting. It's not them saying like, this is a skeletal of a velociraptor. It's like they seem to recognize that no, these are movie monsters, so we're not going to use an actual skeletal diagram for this. And in some ways, I find this a bit more striking than the skeletal diagrams, but maybe not as sleek. Anyway, before I start rambling, let's get to the figure itself. And there is our Lost World tiger-striped raptor, and as you can see, he does come complete with a muzzle that you just gotta slip off there to keep that jaw from warping during transit. And there he is, free of all of his packaging, and I don't know, I'm not too taken by this one. It's got some quirks upon closer inspection that I'm not really digging. I mean, big picture, I think it's there, but upon up-close examination, I think this one might be giving me a tinge of buyer's remorse, as crazy as that might sound. I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me, but for now, let's go ahead and move on to what else we got in this box. Alright, we've got the Scout Series Raptors next. First up, we have the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park. Let's get that open there. Oh wait, no, sorry, this is Breeze, the Utah Raptor. I was looking at the back catalog. Yeah, sorry about that. So Stan, the Velociraptor, is also available. This is Breeze, the baby Utah Raptor. Speaking of Stan, let's just go ahead, get him out there. There he is. Not gonna get that mixed up again. And let's remove the plastic shipping sleeve there. And yeah, there's Stan's box. Let's get these guys up on the turntable, shall we? So yeah, the Scout series from REBOR is a series of hatchling/infant dinosaurs. I have their Stegosaurus and Triceratops already. I've heard there's more. I cannot for the life of me remember what else is in this series, if anything, and if anyone out there knows, let me know. But yeah, I already had those other two, so I figured let's go ahead and jump on these two right now since they were on sale. I think they were like $5 a piece, which seems pretty cheap. But anyway, let's get to the dinosaurs themselves. And there is Stan, the baby Velociraptor. Let's go ahead and get him out of his plastic sleeve there. And as you can see, he does come with a little plastic tray. Let's just pop that off. Keep those little feetsies from warping during transit. Always appreciated. And there he is. He does come with a little base here, complete with footprint indicators. But, you know, I'm not... No, he doesn't really seem to fit that mold, but I guess he stands on there okay. And now for Breeze. There he is in his plastic sleeve. Let's get him out of that. And now he is free. There he is. He just looks absolutely adorable. Probably one of the cuter offerings in my eyes. He does come with his own little base, so let's get him out and just set him down on that because he is in a sitting position and it just looks so cute. Oh, and there he is with all the rest of his Scout series brethren and sisters. And they all look adorable in their own ways, don't you think? I love each and every one of these. We don't have enough baby dinosaurs on the market. I think, Papo have done a few, Safari have done a few, REBOR have done these guys, but honestly, I think REBOR did it best. Strangely enough, I think these guys are the cutest dinosaurs in my collection, like bar none. Alright, and moving on to another big offering. This is another of the Hatchling series. This one is Jolly the Hatchling Triceratops, again limited to 1,000 worldwide. Jolly is, of course, meant to be a Christmas piece, as you can see from the hat. Let's get this up on the turntable. It appears that Jolly was actually the first hatchling dinosaur that they did as part of this series, and I think they might have set the stage quite well. So let's go ahead and get her out of the packaging and see what we're dealing with. And there is Jolly the Hatchling Triceratops, and here is her base. As you can see, it's kind of the same style with the sandy sort of imprint for the egg to nest on, complete with an attached eggshell. Jolly here is number 857, so again, I'm kind of getting to the end of the line with my offerings. Here is that Santa hat that she comes with. As you can see, it is removable, just a nice addition for around the holidays. But let's get to the dinosaur itself. And there is Jolly, finally free of her foam padding prison, and she looks just as cute as the other ones, I gotta say. I'm actually very impressed with this piece overall. I will say I love the addition of the attached eggshell on the base. With Clover, I was kind of like playing with it for a bit, like how do I keep these things from just falling off and immediately getting lost? The placement on the base really helps sell the look, in my opinion, so it is essential, but here it's attached, so I don't have to worry about losing it, which is great. And here is Jolly with her Santa hat, and I think this is going to be a very fun piece to display around the holidays. Of course, the Santa hat's nothing special. You can get like packs of these at any hobby store around the holidays, but you know, it's just cute. It's cute. It's fun. We're having fun. And if anything, this makes me more excited for Christmas, even though we're not even to Halloween yet. But yeah, that was Jolly, another wonderful addition, and I think we're getting down to the last couple in here. One more hatchling. It is Hurricane, the baby Baryonyx. Let's go ahead and get him out of his plastic sleeve before we get him on the turntable. I'm very excited about this one. This is the first carnivore hatchling that I have to take a look at, so let's see if we can get him out there. There we go, and let's get that on the turntable. So there is Hurricane's package, a nice 360-degree look. Obviously, the theme with this one is soccer, or for my friends across the pond, football, as you call it. Let's go ahead and get this guy open. And there is Hurricane. First up, let's talk about this soccer ball little accessory he comes with. And there you can see it free of its little baggie, and it looks very pixelated. Very pixelated soccer ball. Is this what soccer balls look like in England or the UK in general? I don't know. It does come with a little peg to help you mount it on his snoot, which is great. I honestly thought it was like a balancing act, which, man, that would have been a nightmare. But now for the base, like Clover and unlike Jolly, this one does come with attached plant life and foliage, but the same sort of sandstone style. Do these ones pose like with Clover? doesn't look like it. So this seems like a transitionary stage for me. All right, and let's get Hurricane out himself. And oh man, this guy's adorable. That's got like some of the best, that's got one of the best eyes I've ever seen. Oh, and oh, he does come with his own little eggshells detached, unlike Jolly, and you can just kind of set them up however you want. But I don't know, I think that might just lead to me losing them down the line if I bump the desk and they fall and I can't find them. Yeah, so I prefer the attached ones, but Hurricane himself looks amazing. I absolutely love that one. All right, and last one. We have got Pig the Ankylosaurus. This is the plain variant. Now, in the past, I have had the mountain variant, and I currently have the forest variant. The plain variant was the only one I didn't have, so I'm actually pretty excited to see what it looks like in person. But first, let's get a nice look at the box. This is another one that just kind of goes with the skeletal diagram, even though it isn't really an accurate take on Ankylosaurus, but whatever, it's a nice presentation. I can't get mad at REBOR's packaging. I love their packaging, but let's get to the dinosaur itself. Real quick, it does come with another little info card, as you can see. Mine's a little torn up from the armor, but that's okay. We're not here for that. We're here for the dinosaur. And there he is, that nice red back showing out at us. Let's go ahead and get him free there. Alright, and there is Pig, the plain variant. It seems as though he's missing something, though. Yes, that's right, he needs a tail. His tail, let's get that out and get that attached. Alright, and there is the full Ankylosaurus, and you know, I gotta be honest, after having all three versions of this at some point or other, this one's leaving me a little cold. Usually I really do dig warm tones on dinosaurs, but there's something about this one that just, I don't know, man. It doesn't quite do it for me. There's like this aura of cheapness to the paint. It doesn't look that realistic in my eyes. And maybe that'll change. Maybe I'll like it more down the line. But for now, I gotta say, between all three of them, I think the forest one is actually turning out to be my favorite. I think that one's got a nice, bold, yet understated color scheme that feels like it could exist in real life. This one just looks cartoony. It looks like it look a Dinosaur King or something like that. That's the vibe I'm getting, like a cartoon dinosaur, which, you know, for a realistic model, it doesn't really do it for me. Maybe that's going to change. I'm going to hang out with it, see if I warm up to it. But yeah, just another tinge of buyer's remorse with this one, I'm afraid. Oh, and real quick, we're done with the mini zoo box, but I did also get this Mesozoic Rhapsody Charles Knight Tyrannosaurus Rex in from Big Bad Toy Stores this same week. So it was a big REBOR week for me, and I just wanted to take a second to show it off because, oh man, I am in love with this thing. They absolutely knocked this guy out of the park. You know, despite how big this box was from Minizoo, I can't help but feel like it got upstaged from a meager one offering from Big Bad Toy Store, because this figure is amazing. But getting back into the Minizoo order, here are all the REBOR packages from this particular package that arrived. And I gotta say, yeah, this was quite the REBOR order. A lot of good stuff, some meh kind of stuff in there, but you know, it's nice to have it and I can like look back on it and say, well, at least I had it, and you know, if I get rid of it, at least I knew what it was. It's not like something that got away, some missed experience. But as an odd little bit of coincidence, this actually showed up right around REBOR's 7th anniversary. Yeah, happy birthday to you, REBOR. 7 years of business, 7 years of making some very unique pieces for the collection, and just an all-around objectively interesting 7 years. Some of their products are better than others, but I do think overall they really have been improving their formula. And it makes it fun to sort of track down these ones that are sort of going to the wayside, being replaced by the new stuff. That's what makes collecting fun, and I am glad I got each and every one of these before REBOR comes out with the next big thing. Let's go ahead and get a nice group shot of the lot, and yeah, I mean, That's a lot of plastic, and it looks pretty good to me. I am absolutely loving seeing it all together open. This isn't the only thing I got from MiniZoo, but these ones I got for 40% off. And if you're thinking you want to pick up some of these REBOR products, I will leave a link to MiniZoo's site in the description down below. But yes, very excited for almost all of these. Some of these, still need to warm up to. If not, maybe I'll part with them down the road. But either way, I think I got a good haul here. As always, I want to know what you guys think. What is your favorite new addition to my collection? Is there one you want me to take a look at on the channel, do a more in-depth review? Let me know all of that down in the comments section below. And also, what are your thoughts on REBOR now that they're turning 7 years old? Hit me with all of those comments. I want to thank you once again for tuning into this unboxing video. Have a great rest of your day. Killer Shrew Fan, out.